Alright, hello everyone. In today's video, I will be addressing July 11th and the significant announcement that will directly affect your Social Security benefits. That's the main emphasis of the movie. Let's start and go over all the specifics at this moment. Here in a few days, we will be making a very significant news that is also much awaited, since it will allow us to see how much your Social Security, based on this most recent data, that will be released here in just a few days on July 11th. Checks will be impacted as in their increased value. That's exactly what I want to discuss here in this video, and dissect all the specifics of the impact to your monthly benefits, as well as what we are currently looking at with this very significant report. Now with that stated, let's get into it. And I do want to explain all the specifics a little bit deeper, but really fast before we do. Can I ask a huge favor of you if you've not done such yet, or if you happen to be new here, first of thanks and welcome. Would you kindly click the subscribe button straight down to register for the channel? Below the video, it is completely free to do so. I am here for you every single day, observing the headlines, doing research, answering questions, advocating on your behalf, doing anything I possibly could help you out with. Right now, since I completely understand low income and fixed income require a lot more money right now, and there's a lot of strange events happening right now. Out in the news, the announcements a lot. Many things are being introduced right now. A lot of strange things are going on. I think we can all definitely agree with that, right? Anyway, I'm here for any manner that I possibly could. Again, thank you. You really greatly help me. If you haven't yet subscribed, kindly subscribe down below. Thank you so much for watching. Let's get right on discussing what's happening on July 11th. Regarding what is happening on this day, the announcement we will be making, and how all of this information directly affects and links into additional money for your benefits, I want to provide some explanation. Looking ahead. All right. So let me clarify exactly what this announcement is, and then again, I do want to clarify precisely what this one implies, as well as what we need to continue watching over the following handful of months here, as well as good. All right, so July 11th is the date in which we will be getting the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, which is the inflation report. This is actually on behalf of June. Okay, now this is the June inflation report. Now is this the one we look at to ascertain how much benefits are going to be increasing as a result of quickly rising inflation so far? This year, to be frank with you, this one really does not matter when it comes down to your monthly benefit. As in this figure that we will be getting on July 11th does not relevant to. This will be the last reading we will be using, hence why would I discuss the computation and formula utilized to ascertain your COLA for next year 2025. Before we do, get the 3 very key readings for the months of July, August, and September to ascertain how much your COLA is going to be. Now, here's the thing. This one is going to be extremely important. Very crucial since what has been happening thus far. This year for the first call, half of 2024, inflation has been rising the last several months here very quite fast, correct, hence this report that we will be receiving here on July 11th will provide us the last reading till we enter the next 3 readings, which will be the most crucial ones to ascertain exactly how much your benefit increase will be. Thus, this inflation report, even though it is not going to be used for the formula and the computation to ascertain how much COLA will actually be. This one will be very crucial since it provides the last data point we need to ascertain whether is inflation still rising. Has it plateaued and leveled down though my point is this will be the final reading we have here before we start getting those 3. Very doubt it by the way. Just saying, okay, very crucial readings since those 3 will exactly decide how much money you will be receiving. Now remember, those 3 readings are released in August, September, and October. Right. They are always released in the middle of the next month. Okay, does that sort of make sense? I said this in prior videos, but this one we will be viewing on July 11th is the June inflation report. Now this will provide us a much better reading. Not only will it indicate what inflation is doing, but, it has gone somewhat more smoothed out or has plateaued. If it has risen, which I expect it has gone up once more, should it rise once more, we will not know until once more the morning of the 11th here. When we do obtain this reading here, it will demonstrate the degree of increase it has undergone. 310% has it gone up. 0.7% has changed. Percent correct. 10% of 1%. My argument is it will demonstrate us. This is going to be a very crucial statistic that we should keep monitoring since the speed. It shows us the pace at which inflation is still rising or maybe slowing down going future. Observing not only that we had the most recent Federal Reserve FOMC meeting a few weeks ago, and they came forward with their inflation-related remarks and future concerns, as we get more Federal Reserve meetings, which by the way many more to come thus far over the next several months, inflation continues to rise here. This is also going forward, year as well as we keep moving forward with the next FOMC meetings and the additional meetings out of the Federal Reserve. This inflation report is going to be very, very vital as we determine what. Though all of this relates back to your money and your benefits today, the Federal Reserve is going to keep doing with interest rates, right? Again, really significant stuff going forward at the end of the day. I said this in other videos as well. We want it to top out at least in August. I have said this in live broadcasts and stuff like this. If inflation's continuing rise here is what we wish. I have said this many times in earlier films, but the reason for it is, at least we can record the top of it if inflation's continuing rise, calls for at least the money here, and, top us off in August, because then we'll get the high point, and we'll get the peak, and we'll get the high point, heading on the other side or down, I should say. Hence, if inflation truly peaks in August, the ideal situation for all the beneficiaries would be for the fixed income ones. Since then, we have caught the 3 highest points of this trend ascending the peak, and then the negative side on the other side is kind of makes sense. So again, that's what I keep saying in these videos and live streams. I'm saying, hey, if we're going to see all this inflation rising up, at least let's grab as much as we can out of it. You have heard me discussing thus far this year for the first many months of. This year I keep saying, by the time we enter July, August, and September, we start receiving these inflation reports for 3 months, which, by way once more, I want to say, rather fast. Here we are, and I have been saying for almost a month in mid-August. July's inflation data will be released in about a month, so that's what we need to be monitoring. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see inflation in the mid-4% area a while back, but once more, it will all be based on the inflation reports preceding. This inflation is not only moving from 3.5% to 4.5% or 5% in 1 month, it's just not going to happen. In theory, yeah, it can do. But if it does, that's not a good thing. That indicates we're going the wrong way, and we're moving very fast, right? So it's just not going to happen like that. But once we keep observing all of these inflation data, the CPI is month over month, and thus far this year rising higher and higher, and higher, increasing higher, a few fractions of a percentage point every single month. We can clearly see that, by the time we arrive to these 3 months here, we might be seated in the mid-4, possibly upper 4% zone. But again, this next report we get. This day, the 11th of the month, will be really significant, and will teach us what we need to know regarding the direction of the trajectory on this thing. We are still moving pretty quickly, or are we decreasing the pace, or what's going on here? Good. And again, here's what's intriguing about it. As well as we enter the summer months, do we typically see inflation peaking out in the summer? Progressing in the summer? Going down in the summer? It depends somewhat. But many people are out there spending money. People are finally trying to get out of the house and enjoy some warmer weather events like this, and once more, a lot of individuals are absent from school. Thus, a lot of additional money is being spent on a range of other things. However, that issue may also be covered at different times of the year, such as the end of the year when we are all out shopping for a lot of holiday goods and stuff like that. So once more, it can be addressed any time of year. But, generally a lot of people are also traveling on road trips and all kinds of things, barbecues and grilling and anything, all kinds of various activities around the year. Long story short, here in a matter of just days, July 11th, we will be obtaining the inflation generally, and a lot of expenditure normally picks up in the summer as well. CPI, the Consumer Price Index. And once more, I want to underline that, although this one does not directly relate to the method and the computation you used to decide the COLA for the next year 2025, but it does provide the final data point before we begin.